meetings at the highest levels that indicate that something big is about to happen.
Yes, I started talking back at the Christmas holiday. I did a string of interviews, and each interview I mentioned how the new year of 2016 would be loaded with highly disruptive events toward the paradigm shift. Now, look up paradigm in a dictionary. You see model, scheme, etc. We're seeing a shift in progress of power moving from west to east. And the West is having numerous meetings at the highest level in order to handle and manage and try to react to their lost power, to the disruptions to the system, and probably, a banking system breakdown. You mentioned a lot of items, events on your chronology. I'd like to go backwards because I put a little arrow on 4 of them. Deutsche Bank announced gold market rigging. That is going to open the Western doors for viewing the corruption in the gold market. At the same time, Shanghai opens up their gold fix, the gold pricing fix, and the RMB-backed gold futures contract that will actually deliver on gold. What a novel concept. A gold contract that will deliver on gold. Imagine buying a car where they tell you when you look to pick up the keys, sorry, you can't buy a car here. You can't pick up your car here, but you can buy another one. How absurd is that? Okay, then you have the what I call the sandbagging of the Saudis. I've been talking for 2 years about how the UBS and Credit Suisse crime scenes were really nothing more than ruses for the British and American bankers to take control of UBS, Credit Suisse, and to steal the Arab gold. Mission accomplished. Now you have the meetings of the president, vice president, Federal Reserve chairman, and you left out one, the White Dragon Society member, who called the meeting. The meeting was to inform them that at a future unspecified date, the dollar would no longer be accepted in global trade.
Jim, for people who don't know what you're talking about, who and what is the White Dragon Society?
Well, it's ancient Chinese families.
Old dynasty money?
Yes. It's sad, but most Americans don't know much about Chinese history. I did a little research when I was in college because I wanted to name a Siamese cat, and I named him Ming. I'm sorry, but I just had a Chinese-born client in Singapore send me a list of the dynasties of China and the years. The Han, the Wu, the Hua, the Ming, the Qing, with a Q, Q-I-N-G, King. Wow, they go back 5,000 years. Okay, now, the United States has a bunch of elite folks. I'm going to get to the answer of what the White Dragons are. The Americans, U.S., has the Rockefellers. We've got a lot of others. We got Morgan. We've got, well, lately we've got Gates. And some really vile characters like him. He's responsible. Bill Gates of Microsoft is responsible for 100,000 paralysis cases in India because he developed a wonderful polio vaccine. He's now a wanted criminal in India. Okay, we've got a lot of elite. Okay, we've got Carnegie. We've got all kinds of different magnates from the 19th century. Edison, that's General Electric. We got Ford. We got all kinds of elites. Well, they accumulated wealth and passed it on with trusts. So the U.S.-based elites are in command of a few $1 trillion probably. Let's ignore Papa Bush because his $5 trillion is all illicit from narcotics. So let's leave Bush out. Let's leave Clinton out. They stole $1.5 trillion out of Fannie Mae. So let's leave Clinton and Bush out. They are best friends that cross the Democrat-Republican line and make a mockery of political alignment. Okay, the Chinese have the same, Rick. They've got dozens and dozens of wealthy families, and they stay to the sidelines, stay in the shadows. Some control the Communist Party, and they've got their own internal conflicts. The previous president of China from 6 or 8 years ago is under all kinds of investigations for corruption by President Xi, XI, Jinpao Xi. Okay, so the Chinese have the White Dragon Society, and they've got the Red family, the White family, and a number of other ones that I cannot keep honestly straight. But I do know that the White Dragons control roughly 150,000 tons of gold. It's not part of the Chinese government official reserves. That statement coming out every year by the IMF is an utter joke. The Russians have 25 to 30,000 tons. The Chinese have ready and willing and able about 25 or 30,000 tons. But when you count all the private families, they have 150,000 tons. When the U.S. announces their tonnage of gold, they mention deep storage gold. But when it was legitimate, did they announce what the Bush, Rockefeller, and Clinton gold vaults contained? No. It's Fort Knox, which was pillaged. That's all they mentioned. Their official gold reserves never include private families. So the point was that the White Dragons called the meeting with the president, vice president, banking officials, congressional leaders, and Federal Reserve chairs, along with past chairs going back to Volcker. Bernanke, Greenspan, and Volcker. Boy, that's like a war situation room, is it not? Yes, it is, exactly, because they were told that the dollar is going away and will not be accepted for trade payments at an unspecified future date. Maybe they did specify a date. Okay, so the last event of the four that I like to highlight is one you didn't have, and that was when Patriarch Kirill met Pope Francis of the Vatican. That was reading the riot act that the Satanists who are running the Western corporations, banks, and politics will no longer be in charge of the world. And they can take their child molestation and sacrifices and go out the door. The Vatican is the center of Western Satanism. Their banks, the black nobility, why do they call it black? Because they wear black robes during Satanist ceremonies. Why are they called Illuminati? One of the funniest word etymologies that I've ever encountered is that Lucifer means Prince of Light. Lucifer, lux, Latin lux, Spanish luz, L-U-Z. Translucent, light coming through. Lucifer is the Prince of Light. I call it Prince of Darkness. I don't go along with their game. The Vatican is the center of global Satanism and is the headquarters for most of the narcotics and most of the security agencies like Mossad, MI6, and Langley. Okay, they read the riot act that Eastern, not mysticism, but Eastern Christianity is going to take control, and they wanted cooperation to do this peacefully to get the Satanists and their Agenda 21